Hey everyone, welcome to cs4everyone.com. In this video we're going to be covering if statements. An if statement is essentially something that allows you to run a certain chunk of code depending on a condition. So for example, say we have a variable called name and it's equal to Robert. What if we want to run code that will say hello only to Robert? And if it's not Robert, then we will not say hello, because it's me, and we only want to say hello to me, of course. So the overall logic of this would essentially be if name is equal to Robert, then say console.log, hi Robert. So that's essentially all it is. And then it would be like else, so if it's not Robert, we would do I don't care about you. We don't care about anyone else. We're narcissistic, or I'm narcissistic here. Only care about me. It's all that matters. If it's not me that we're talking to, we don't care. So that's essentially the logic of it all. It's pretty simple to grasp. It's the syntax of it that's kind of weird. And what syntax is, that's the way you do something in a language. It's what it actually looks like. It's the code that you need to type to get something to work. So this is what an if statement is in terms of syntax. So you need to type if, and then you open up a pair of parentheses, and within these parentheses, this is where your expression goes. So your expression is like, if name is equal to Robert, then do this. And so what you need to do next is open up a pair of curly braces. So this is what will happen. It will say if name is equal to Robert, and then within these curly braces, it will run the code. So the curly braces are essentially what tells JavaScript, hey, this is what I want to have happen if this is the condition that we're trying to meet. So if name is equal to Robert, then do whatever is in these curly braces. Pretty simple. Nothing extremely complicated there. So the reason that we use the double equal sign here is because the single equal sign is already taken. It's what you use to give a variable its value. So you can't do if name is equal to Robert, because that's like, it's saying if, and then it creates a variable called name and gives it a value Robert. You can't do that. You need to have double. So whenever you make if statements, you're going to do this a lot. Everyone does it when they first start programming. You're going to make it so that you accidentally only use one. Don't do that. Two, every time. There's also a way of doing three, but we'll get into that later, what the difference is between 2 and 3. For now, just stick to 2. So if name is equal to Robert, we're going to console.log. Oop, typo. I hit enter apparently. Console.log. Hi Robert. Nothing crazy there. And then what do we want to have happen if name is not equal to Robert? That's when we do else. And then you open up another pair of curly braces. And you will do console.log, I don't care about you. So this JavaScript program is a bit of a douchebag. It only likes me because I am its creator. If you want to be narcissistic too, you can make it be your name. So if your name is Jack, you can set name equal to Jack. And then you can change this equal to Jack. So you can also be a cocky douchebag like myself if you want. So let's go ahead and run this. Go to your browser. If you don't know how to, like I said in the last video, if you've closed your browser, you can just open up a fresh one, get your file, drop it in, it will load it, and then you can do inspect element and click on console, and here you are. So it said, hi Robert. Let's go into the code and change the name. Let's go ahead and change this to Jack. I'm sorry about all the Jacks out there, but my program does not care about you. See that? It's nothing really crazy. It's just the syntax of it is a little bit weird because rookie and new programmers, they have to get used to these curly braces. But most of the mainstream programming languages today, this is how they do it. It comes from C, which the C programming language, which you may have heard of. We'll jump into C later on when we get into more memory relevant topics. But This is essentially if statements in JavaScript. This is the basics. There's also something called an else if. We'll cover that later. It's nothing. It just lets you check more values. It's nothing really crazy. So this is boring right now, though. This is boring because we hand code it. It's not dynamic. No values change as the program runs. Let's make things be a little bit more interesting. And we're going to use the prompt function. So I know you don't know what a function is yet, but we'll get into that. So go ahead and say var name equals prompt, and then open up a pair of parentheses and say, what is your name? And now, I misspelled prompt. Thank you, Visual Studio Code, for underlining that. Now when we run this, make sure you have this exactly as I have it. Now when you run this, it will prompt you for your name. So now I can say Robert, and then I can say OK, and boom, it will say hi Robert. Refresh again. What is your name? Jackson. I don't care about you. Now we have slightly interactive programs. So this is what we'll be using a lot for to make things a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun. Eventually, we're going to make a text-based role-playing game, and you'll have to do a lot with the input from the user. So, like, if you want to go fight a monster, we'll say press 1. If you want to go check your inventory, press 2. If you want to go visit a shop, press 3. Blah blah blah. So this right here is how you get user input from the keyboard. That's essentially it. So this is the rundown on the basics of if statements. That's all it is. Let's do another example real quick. Let's do something with numbers. Actually, let's just keep doing strings. We'll get into numbers later. It's not really that different. What year were you born? And let's change this variable name to birth date. And now we can do if birth date is equal to 1993, my birth date, I'm a freaking youngin', we can say, wow, you have the best age for this current time period. So currently I'm 21. In this current time period, 21 is the best age because 1993 is the best birth date. Else, and you don't have to do the else, you could just do this. This will still work. If you don't put 1993, then nothing will happen. It'll just say, is birth date equal to 1993? No. Well, there's no else, so I don't know what to do. So JavaScript will just keep going down the program. And if there's nothing else there, then nothing will happen. But we want something to happen. We want, wow, your age is incorrect. You're the wrong age for this point in time if you were not born in 93. So let's go ahead and run this. What year were you born? 1940, in the World War II era. Wow, your age is incorrect, and you're old. You are old. What year were you born? 1993. Wow, you have the best age for this current time period. That's it. That's the rundown on if statements. Not a very hard thing, but the power of if statements is immeasurable. Everyone uses if statements. Every program that you will ever see is loaded with if statements and variables and blah blah blah. So the stuff we're learning, these are in every single mainstream programming language. I'm teaching you. This isn't about learning JavaScript. It's about learning the fundamentals of programming and computer science. And once we know how to program, then we can really jump into the algorithmic computer science-y subjects and more learning about algorithms later on. But for now, we need to teach you the basics of how to code, and JavaScript is a great first language to do that in. So let's see. In the next video, we will keep doing if statements. We'll jump into the else if construct, which lets you check multiple values. So for example, we could have a code that runs for 1993. We could have code that runs for 1994. You could have it for 1995 if you want. And then you can have an else that runs for every other year. So we'll jump into that in the next video. I'm going to try to keep these short from here on out because the first two, I'm trying to keep them under 10 minutes. And the more I blab, the more I'm just, increasing the time. So I'm just going to call it a day now. See y'all later.